Welcome back. As we earlier said, the 7th Regional Forum for the Union of the Mediterranean kicked off on Thursday in Barcelona, Spain, with the participation of Egypt. Assistant Foreign Minister of European Affairs, Ihab Nasser, represented Egypt at the forum. Secretary General of the Union for the Mediterranean, Nasser Kamel, will be present at the meeting. And more than 200 young civil society representatives from 20 countries had worked on these proposals throughout 2021 and this year. And to shed more light over this topic, we're joined by the phone by former His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good morning, Your Excellency. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. We need to talk about the significance of Egypt's participation in the 7th Regional Forum of the Union for the Mediterranean, please.
It is one development of our relations with Europe. You know that our relation is based on association agreement, which is covering our political and security affairs, covering also our trade and financial relations, and also there is a sort of dialogue, a cultural dialogue between the parties. Then we have two developments. One is the neighborhood policy, where the neighbors of the European Union became as if they are members, and we are treating them like that. So our merchandise can go there exempted from any custom duties or any trade barriers, and we give them the same treatment. Then we have this forum, which they call it at the beginning the Union of the Mediterranean countries. Then there were some remarks because some European countries are not Mediterranean, like Germany or others. So we changed to the Union for the Mediterranean. So it includes all the European Union countries and those countries on the South Mediterranean and on the east part of the Mediterranean. So this is the 7th forum between Egypt and Europe, and it is one more circle, one more activity in order to strengthen and widen the relations between Egypt and the European Union. And of course there is new ideas to explore the possibility of expanding the relation between Egypt and Europe in this field.
What exactly are those ideas, and are they going to be coping with the momentum, especially that the world is facing many challenges?
Of course, you can imagine that we are using such a forum in order to cover much more activities than we have. We are talking about education here, we are talking about new finance, we are talking about the relation between the private sector in all these countries. So it is a new way to make some new ideas, some new projects in order to make our relation much more strength. Mind you that the European Union became our main trade partner and our main supporter for our economic development.
Right. What are the main objectives of the Euro-Mediterranean from your own point of view, as we have seen this year?
We are continuing through many circles. We have political dialogue. We have a dialogue against, to explore our possibility to fight against organized crime, such as terrorism, illegal migration, money laundering, and drug trafficking. This is our main enemies. We are fighting with the help of the European Union. And Egypt has a very good record in this matter, that we succeeded in tackling all those organized crime. Yesterday also they said that Egypt will help Yemen in order to tackle those crimes, and then we are not helping only on the Egyptian territory, but also with our Arab countries, which needs some of our technical assistance also. We give our technical assistance to our partners in the Arab world, in Africa.
Right. When we talk about these issues and these conflicts or these challenges that are facing countries who are meeting to find solutions and seek ways to sort out these problems, there might be differences according to the different policies of each countries and the different situations, and also the different laws that are implicated by each country. Don't you think in order to sort out challenges like that, unified laws should be ratified, something that everybody should agree about, something that should be implemented worldwide without differences in policies or things like that?
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's why when we drafted the agreement, especially the third article, it talks that the relation between the parties will be based on the principle of democracy and human rights. Then Egypt, I personally will insist to define what do we mean by human rights.
Exactly.
So we added two sentences here. First, human rights as it was mentioned in the International Declaration of the United Nations concerning human rights. Then we know what we are talking about. Nothing, whatever we are hearing now is imposed on us. The second, that we added a sentence that bearing in mind the differences in culture in all the parties. There is a difference between our culture and the European culture. So what they accept as human rights, we do not accept sometimes. They are against the death penalty, for instance, and we insist that we have to continue using the death penalty. Another thing, they don't want a marriage between a man and more than one lady. No, it's allowed in our country, and here we insist on doing this. Then when they come to us to talk about the freedom of sexual orientation, we refused absolutely to accept this, the one-sex marriage. This is not acceptable in Egypt. Many examples we can give that we insist on abide to our special culture. And human rights, it means human rights as it was mentioned in the International United Nations Human Rights Declaration.
What was exactly agreed under the Barcelona process?
There is a sort of declaration. They call it Barcelona Declaration.
Yes.
It is mentioning all the fields of relations. And as I said, it is security and political cooperation, financial and trade cooperation, and then the cultural dialogue between the parties. Those are the main three articles, the main three dimensions of the Barcelona Declaration. Then, as I said, we added the neighborhood policy, that their neighbor became our neighbor also. And then we have this approach of the Union for Mediterranean. It has its problems because it has no finance, by the way. And every time we find a sort of project we want to implement, we have to find who will finance it. Because it is not as the main agreement of the association agreement is something different. Because in the association agreement, it is mentioned quite obvious that the European Union will finance the Egyptian economy in order to face freeing the trade, in order to face the aims of Egypt in economic development.
Right. How would that event and events like that and such activities help in boosting joint efforts to face the current challenges the world is facing?
I always optimistic whenever the dialogue is continuing. Take the huge context happened in Sharm el-Sheikh lately. Thousands of leaders are in the same place. They talk to each other. We learn from them. We give them our point of view in many challenges and problems. The discussion is very important here, although it was a sort of international conference, but we also covered the regional affairs and the bilateral. And this is what is happening in the Union for the Mediterranean also. Our representative is sitting with 27 countries who are between our main partners. And of course, we can raise any problem in order to ask for their advice, or we ask for their point of view. Same time, they want to know what are our point of view concerning many things, whether it is challenges or opportunities. So you add to their knowledge about what we are looking in a way or another to any challenge or any problem in the world.
You kindly refer to some differences in culture that became barriers while discussing some rights that some European countries have been calling for. And we have seen that also in the World Cup in Qatar. Also, there has been some differences between European countries and the Arab world, which is normal. Did that affect Egypt and other countries like Egypt's participation in that event in affecting progress in seeking solutions to some challenges maybe?
Not at all, not at all. I have never seen a problem because we respect our culture. We respect the culture of our friends in Europe. I don't think that Europe itself, it has one same culture. There are some habits in South Europe different from North Europe, and we respect this. So we ask them to respect our habits and our culture. So I think if you know exactly whom you are talking to, or what are the cultures in these different countries, then I never heard about a problem which would affect our relation with Europe because of this.
In case of such controversies, how does Egypt and other Arab countries handle these differences? Do you put it aside or box them, or do you tend to move forward, or what exactly? How does it work?
It comes also always through dialogue. Whenever the dialogue is continuing, then you can explain your position and your point of view. And I am really happy that our culture is well accepted and well respected from all our partners, because take some other countries in Africa, for instance, they have habits which Europe cannot accept at all. But because it is the culture of a friendly country, then we have to stop there. No interference in your internal affairs and the internal culture.
Right. So a Euro-Mediterranean youth meeting was also held on the 23rd of November on the sidelines of the forum. What is the importance of that particular meeting?
We hosted such a meeting once in Sharm el-Sheikh 10 years ago, and I was so happy to see the young people of different countries, and they are keen to know, and they ask you plenty of questions about your country, even about history, even about how to deal with some Egyptian habits, how to be accepted in investment or banking system or whatever. And it's the matter that you are preparing the young generation to accept the partnership and the way we are managing our relations with Europe. It's very important that you make the young generation aware about what we are doing. And it's a practice now in our universities that we have the European Union model. they imitate the European Union, and some of our students are playing the role of France, of Germany, of Italy, and so on, and they raise and discuss all the files, what Europe itself is discussing, and really it's a very, very nice experience.
I mean, speaking about the young generations are participating in something that is seeking solutions to eternal topics. I guess we're running out of time, Your Excellency. We already ran out of time for the program today.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your participation, and thank you for your time and talking to the Breakfast Show, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you so much, and you have a beautiful day. And by this, we come to the end of this edition of the Breakfast Show for this morning. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again, once again tomorrow morning, that's a goodbye.